Hi, Fred. Hi, everybody.
Right.
Uh, you touched on a couple of subjects I'm waiting to talk about. So it's the usual thing. Everybody's ahead of each other. I saw the part two of the Dune science fiction trilogy that's coming. I don't know if you've seen it. Frank Herbert's Dune.
Oh, Dune. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dune. It was part two. I saw it on video last week,
Yes, I
and
saw that was coming.
I'm an old science fiction fan anyway, so I can forget all the non-dual stuff and just immerse myself in this storytelling, which is
And it's
great.
one of the giants of science fiction, taken
Yes,
from a old bookseller.
yeah. And there was one line, you got this matriarchy of these women they've got this like secret society where they're sort of trying to direct the turn of events over centuries and so on. Well, the point was one of these priestesses. She says at one time, "Fear is the enemy of the mind," and it sort of I woke up at that point. No, no, no. Fear's not it is the mind, you know. But I mean, it's a plot item. It's part
Yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah,
plot.
yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. It's
But
more
it
accurate than they are. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I could still enjoy the film. It was
Sure.
like an alarm bell went off, and that was good. And the other thing was Susie was at a course where they were talking about this guy. His name was it George Wheeler? Was that his name or John
John Wheeler.
Wheeler?
John
He was
Wheeler.
an astrophysicist. He was one of the guys who invented the hydrogen bomb. To be honest.
Oh, oh,
He was
that's
one of the
different.
big noises. I mean, right up until his death. And he was talking about the double nature of what. Well, you have either you look, they got the particle or the wave,
Mhm,
and it's the same thing you're looking at. And
mhm,
he was comparing the particle perspective was like the individual story, and what's actually there is the wave thing, which is like one, which is I thought, wow.
mhm.
So when we're identified with the particle, then we're screwed. We're bouncing around the universe as this poor little particle with nowhere to live.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was
Everybody's against me,
yeah,
and everybody's cooler than I am.
yeah, exactly, yeah, it's it. And once you identify with this story, you start believing the other stories. It's part of the the so-called other stories, the patterns people believe in about themselves. Like I have students who have a story of, oh, I can't figure this out. This is too difficult for me, right? So when we start doing any sort of an assignment, it's a big panic, this huge panic, and then they end up doing it anyway, and they're much more capable than what they thought they were, because of the story. Well,
Mhm.
that's not what I wanted to share. What I wanted to share was claiming your identity is when things get bumpy, when you're starting to identify with the dream. I know you've said it 100 times or 1,000 times, but it just I remembered it last week.
Yeah.
I'm a slow learner. You know,
Right
I'm
there
going to
with
be here in the next life if there's one.
We're all slow learners.
But I could feel the sand slipping underneath me. Like, oh, I'm getting into this dream. And then there was this. Well, no matter what happens, like Hannah was saying, I mean, it can look as if it's so what? This is just what's happening, right? And that's a way of claiming your awakening is by just keeping your foot on that perspective. Not lose. Okay, it's like going to the movies and watching Dune. It's well, anyway, it just registered much more deeply this week than
Yeah.
otherwise.
So using language for that, we could call that a stabilizing factor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what, and it's exactly what I have described so many times when, I mean, that automated check. That's what you're looking for. Because that's your real teacher. That's what'll take you home and keep you there. And I mean, as if I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I got no other uh, flock. So I'll just teach to this choir. So the when Betsy and I used to go to dinner a lot when I was well. And by the way, I am feeling much better and I'm starting to get better. I'm walking more and everything. I've got a great physical therapist now that comes here twice a week. So, but we would go out to dinner and she would say something and there would be, or I would say something even more important. I would say something like, "Oh, did you see what happened in Europe? Oh my God." And and with that passion, there would immediately arise a little voice. And I don't want to make this sound. It's not like mystical. It's not like something you can't have. You've got it. And it, but it says it just asks the question. So, do you really believe that? Or is it just table talk with Betsy? And the immediate response is a table talk with Betsy. It doesn't not like I mean that it was terrible, or that I know it was terrible, or that I feel that there's something wrong, or this and that and the other, and it's gone away. And a lot of times it would go away for the rest of the meal, but it might still pop back up again if I was potentially out of line, because it just wanted me to consciously clarify. I know better than what's coming out of here, right? I can't stop it from coming out of here. And I don't want to. It was terrible in Europe. That's a great, whatever. They had a terrible tragedy. That's a great relative statement if that's what's happening. You don't have to deny it. But which is a lot of teachings will tell you, well, relativity doesn't matter. You're an absolute being. And that's true. But if I wonder if that one who thinks it doesn't matter, I wonder if it eats, right? And just tell them
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the
Whether they
price of
eat it or not,
gasoline
whether they
still
live it
too
or
high.
not, yeah, it's
Yeah.
our our path. I'm just going to call it that, or our duty. I could call it that in a way. The way that the optimal operation of an awakened being on this planet uh, is being conscious enough. You don't have to go around thinking, "Oh, wow, I'm really enlightened," or whatever. That's probably not enlightenment talking. Um, but is being awake enough to be awake to this, because that's all you ever have to do is you just have to be awake to this. You have to notice that this is not that the content is changing, but that's just that's the content. Notice that the space is never changing. And you think your content and all your focus as a unit, as a supposed so-called unit, goes to the content, goes to the objects, but you're not an object. You are the spaciousness itself. You are that in which everything not only does occur, but without you, nothing could occur. In the absence of consciousness and the absence of awareness, I don't want to say there's not anything, but I'm saying we can't know about it. That much I can say for sure. Anything else I might be guessing at because I'm not dead. But for sure, there's a difference in being consciously awake and alert consciously. Because if you're consciously awake, you'll be alert, and that's what happened with you, because there was an alertness there. And so I'm very happy for you. I know it happens other times, and you're just reporting this one, but nonetheless, it's kudos every time for every one of us that happens, because it's awakeness taking us home. It's the process, So it's not like we've got anywhere to go. This is it. So it can't take us home when we're already home, but it can help us to see, oh, when they're talking about here and now, they're talking about this here, this now, you know, and that's all there ever is. So there's nothing, no big thing out there to surrender to or journey or anything like that. Thanks. Very good, Robin. Thank you.